Alright, here we have the transaxle gearbox for a front wheel drive vehicle. Right? This is a cutaway of the gearbox, the actual gearbox. Right? So we can actually see the inside, the components of the gearbox inside of this gearbox assembly. Right? Let's begin with the differential assembly. So right here we have the differential assembly. Right? The differential assembly consists of bearings, speedometer drive gear, side gears, spider gears, right? 4 gears, right? Two side gears and 2 spider gears. And this is the crown gear. Crown meshes with what we would call the pinion gear, which is right here. That's on the output shaft, right? Now that since I mentioned the output shaft, well, this is actually the output shaft. This shaft here that runs towards the differential is the output shaft, and this one behind here is the input shaft. Right, so that's the input shaft right here. On the output shaft, there are a number of gears. The gears are actually free to rotate on the shaft unless they are locked by the synchronizer assembly, which is this. This is the synchronizer assembly, right? Synchronizer assembly consists of the synchronizer sleeve, synchronizer hub, which is behind the sleeve, a blocking ring or synchronizer ring. Some people might call it a bark ring, right? Or barker ring, same thing. It has dogs and it has also a hub. You have a hub, dog, insert, key. Basically those three are the same thing. The hub, the insert, the dog, or the key is the same thing, right? You have the sleeve, which is this part here. And you have the hub that is behind, right? These are helical gears, 1, 2, 3, 4. Helical gears are slant cut gears. And this is a straight cut gear. This gear right here is a straight cut gear. And that's also known as a spur gear, right? That is used to drive the reverse gear. This right here is your shift rail, and the shift rail consists of shift forks, which is this. Shift forks is used to select to move the synchronizer sleeve to select the gears, right? This section is known as your shift gate, and this is your shifter mechanism. The shift gate is actually part of what we call an interlocking mechanism that prevents you from selecting more than 1 gears at a time. Alright. These are the meshing or matching input shaft gears for the output shaft gears. Right. And we can identify the different types of gears based on the size of the gears. So when we look at the gears, the smaller it is on the input shaft, that would be your first gear. So we're looking at the first gear right here. And as we go along, we'll see the second. This is the second gear. And that would be your third gear right around here. And this would be your fifth gear. Oh, sorry. We have our first gear right here. First gear, second gear, third, and fourth. Fourth is underneath here. And the last one would be your fifth gear, which is this one. Right? In order for you to select the gears, you'd have to operate this shift mechanism. Right now it is in neutral. When it is in neutral, the selector mechanism is in the center of the shift gate. Okay? In the center. When you select a gear, you actually move a shift rail, which is connected to a shift fork. The one that is selected is the one with the synchronizer closest to the gear. And this is the one that we have selected. And we can tell which gear this is by looking at the size of the gear. So we know that this is first gear right here. This is the second. And this is the third. So the one that is selected is third gear. This is your seal for the differential seal. If that seal is bad, then the gear oil will leak outside. Right? You have two seals, one inside here, the other one around here. This is your input shaft, and this part of the shaft is called your pilot shaft. Pilot. So that's your pilot shaft. Those are the splines for your clutch and your input shaft. This bearing is what we call a throw-out bearing or release bearing. That is what is used to push the pressure plate assembly to release the clutch. This part is called your clutch fork or release mechanism. Right? This area that we're looking at, this area is called your bell housing. This switch right here is what switch on your reverse light when you select reverse. That's called your reverse light switch. This part of the gearbox is known as your end cover. End cover. Right. These are the shift rail, as I said before. Shift rail, which consists of the shift fork. These are the gears, helical gears, because they are cut slant. This is your spur gear, which is a straight cut gear. Right? Basically, there we have the complete assembly of the transaxle gearbox. This part is the bung that allows you to fill your gearbox with oil. And the drain plug should have been below, underneath, or somewhere lower on the case. Alright, that's it. Thanks.